the physical distancing in a dance. It's just a really clever concept, and it's executed very simply and elegantly here. And it's just, I was really, it was one of those things where I watched and I was like, I almost wish I thought of that if I was any way at all related in the dance community. It's a good idea. It's definitely worth checking out.
It's a gorgeous yet eerie piece shot from above of a female dancer on the floor, and then another image of a male dancer superimposed on top of her. It's a brilliant cinematography concept, and the eerie strains of the violin below also adds to the sort of ominous theme of this piece, in that nobody touches. We try, but we can't because of the disease. And the film itself is in tribute to the NYC COVID-19 healthcare workers, which is quite moving. Excellent job. Well done.
I was really curious as to how they were going to do it and what they were going to do. I definitely liked how much they played with kind of gravity to a certain extent, and that effect, because it did really make it seem like these people were like suspended or floating, which to me personally has kind of felt how COVID has definitely impacted. At least parts of my life have just kind of felt suspended and floating out there. So I thought that was really interesting, and I thought that this was a really interesting way to kind of highlight some of those things, and how even if you can't make the full connection, the effort and making sure you honor and remember the connection that you had beforehand, I think is just as important. And I really liked this. I thought it was really interesting.
I thought this piece perfectly captured that feeling of being together yet being apart. And yes, all of the emotions are present and the connection is there, but the physical body of the other isn't. And I think they made that emotion of the longing, but also the support really vitally present. There's still an immense amount of beauty in that kind of connection, but there's also a frustration that came through in the dance of not quite being able to make contact and not being able to connect.
It's a really interesting concept piece of two people tossing and turning, what looks like how you would toss and turn in bed, and reaching out for something or someone, some human contact really, but there is none. Having them overlaid with each other when we see that they're actually having these identical experiences to one another, even though they feel so alone. It just reminds me of that phrase, apart but not alone, that we've been hearing throughout this pandemic. I think it was a really creative way to depict how, we can all feel really isolated during this time, but all of us individually are feeling isolated. Therefore, we are all having a collective experience. So I really liked the visualization of this. And I did like that there was a happy ending where we actually see them physically interacting with each other, and it brought a smile to my face.
Erotic, painful, lonely, humane, tragically relevant, flirtingly transparent. The camera never moves, yet these lovers, these dancers, are rolling over themselves in search of one another's embrace for the most part of the film, and it is aching to see, and it's very effective in its use of fading body imagery, that they're there yet they're not, and I think that's a good that's a good metaphor for where most of our thoughts are during this pandemic. Insanely rewarding in its final act when they're finally able to embrace. Sorry if I blew it, but job well done from the dancing and the choreography, because it did evoke a lot of emotions in just a short amount of time.